Hulk Hogan is a polarizing figure. He's the man we grew up with dazzling performances that we emotionally attach ourselves to because back in the day, he was our idol. Merch with his name, image, and likeness were sold everywhere in this country, from hats to t-shirts, action figures, and much more. Unfortunately, as time moves on, some of our heroes show themselves for who they really are, a deference to our morals and values, or peddles in the opposite time and time again.
Hogan is heard on the tape, which was recorded in 2006, talking about his daughter Brooke, who he accused of sleeping with an African American. I mean, I am a racist to a point. But then, when it comes to nice people and whatever, then says, I mean, I'd rather, if she was going to I'd rather have her marry an 8-foot worth $100 million, like a basketball player. Guess we're all a little racist.
Hulk Hogan went with the latter. According to a separate report by Mark Lamont Hill, citing transcripts from the tape, there's additional audio of Hogan calling The Rock, real name Dwayne Johnson, the N-word, as well as, well, you see the word. This is what Hogan is referencing. A book written and illustrated by Helen Bannerman in 1899 that the Washington Post called Racist Beyond Repair. The illustrations, matched with African Americans such as Langston Hughes, recognized immediately to be the pickaninny. The term had already gained currency in America as a black archetype, particularly a black servant who was loyal and contented.
People that know me know I'm not a racist.
Biggie, a champion power lifter and title holder in wrestling, tweeted, "Appropriate a culture, pilfer from its dialect, profit wildly from it, and regard its people as subhuman." Makes sense. In the wake of his racism, Hogan did the well-thinkable. He preached the gospel on Twitter, a purely Republican tactic. Kids are dying in school shootings? Drop a Bible verse and a few characters, Marco Rubio. After 10 people perished in the Boulder, Colorado shooting of King Soopers grocery store, Lauren Boebert and Ted Cruz tweeted the usual. After COVID hit, there was Hogan posting on Instagram, "Maybe we don't need a vaccine." After legendary actor and activist Sidney Poitier passed away, plus America's favorite mom Betty White passed away, Hulk had the nerve to write 100% Betty and Sidney were also jab. He spelled it wrong. They're dropping like flies, but they'll never say it. Hogan's comment appeared under a conspiracy theory about the death of famed Full House actor Bob Saget. None of their respective deaths came from the vaccine, which Hogan has shown he is opposed to as a conspiracy theorist. The Iron Sheik, though, put many of our thoughts rather simply. What I notice is a trend. Why do racists and anti-vaxxers overlap? During a meeting regarding COVID-19 updates in San Diego, anti-vax protesters wish 3 of the 5 county supervisors would be unalived with racial slurs added into the mix. In Australia, famed actor Ernie Dingo was the target of racist abuse and death threats when he toured the country in an effort to boost low vax rates in indigenous communities. Washington state lawmaker Jim Walsh, a Republican, wore a yellow Star of David, the symbol the Nazis forced Jewish people to wear during the Holocaust. In New Zealand, MAGA hats and flags from the notable conspiracy theory movements are visible in the crowds at anti-lockdown and anti-vax protests. White supremacists and right-wing groups are capitalizing on vaccine hesitancy to distribute conservative ideologies to new audiences via protests and social media, wrote Stephen Sefor. In fact, he writes, vaccine resistance movements have always been led by white, middle-class voices and promoted by structures of racial inequality.
Kung flu, as opposed to calling it the Chinese virus.
And so it continues in American politics. Hogan, who once said he wanted to be Donald Trump's running mate, thanked God for his victory over Democrat Hillary Clinton in 2016 via Twitter. They are, in short, one and the same. Look, Hogan can body slam Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 2 or team up with the Macho Man Randy Savage. Those are indeed memories. Unfortunately, the sour tastes left in our mouths, the reputation-ruining rhetoric and actions is all his own undoing and has no one to blame but himself.